Hello and welcome to this episode of the Economic Times Cutting Chai Stories, an initiative by ETH. I am Ashwini Mishra, bringing to you conversations with CXOs over a cup of chai as we discuss about their personal and professional journey, career experiences, hobbies, sources of inspiration, and other such engaging topics. Joining me today is Prashant Parashar, Chief Human Resources Officer at Customer Lifecycle Management and Mobile Marketing Company, CleverTap. Welcome, Prashant, on Cutting Chai Stories.
Thanks, Ashwini. Thanks, Ashwini.
Right, in a career spanning around 27 years, Prashant, you've worked with companies like Tata Cummins, Mahindra and Mahindra, WNS, Genpact, and Potentia Growth Services. In the pharma space, you were working with MQ Pharmaceuticals and now CleverTap. How have you seen the role of HR evolve over these years and till date? More so in the current scenario.
Yeah. So while role in every function keeps evolving, there is something that has happened uh, in the current year, which has significantly changed the role of HR folks. When subprime crisis hit, uh, the role of CFO became extremely critical and assumed significantly different importance for the company. When we are hit by the pandemic COVID-19, it's all about people, their health, their safety, uh, dealing with the insecurity. So the role of HR has it has evolved so much in the last 1 year or about 10 months that HR has to deal not only with the business priorities, balancing the human needs, uh, but also being extremely sensitive to the environment in which people are living, uh, the entire ecosystem of their health, safety, well-being, mental well-being. People are
Well,
subjected to so many different kinds of challenges. Someone not well in the family can't go out of home for 10 days, 14 days, going through lockdowns, uh, missing their near and dear ones. Many people uh, living in continuous fear or state of uh, state of shock. And conducting business amidst this has taught us a lot in terms of how to be sensitive, how to get the going on, and
sensitive.
that's how that has been a big change, radical change for all of us in HR.
Sure. So the shift from not only the typical HR processes that we have, so also focusing on the employee well-being and being sensitive
Yes,
to their concerns and issues around Prashant. I guess that's a very transformative change that we have seen, especially during these times. Can you take us through your
absolutely.
childhood, your schooling and the lessons that you've learned early on in your life that have stayed with you?
Yeah, so I am born and brought up at Ranchi, the industrial place, and quite a cosmopolitan industrial place. My father used to work for Heavy Engineering Corporation and studied at Central School, which taught us, you know, uh, a lot around the co-curricular activities and not only on academics, and a unified curriculum and unified, coherent way of teaching and learning. So life in public sector uh, grew amidst the diversity. We had people from all parts of India. There were a lot of foreign experts, Czech experts, and Russian experts living in the same colony. So diversity uh, and quite open spaces, had a lot of place to play and enjoy childhood. That has been my childhood. And I've also seen, being born and brought up in an industrial environment, I've also seen a lot of agitations, labor movements from very close quarters, violence, industrial violence, and some of these things have remained with me in terms of how to be sensitive, because the root cause of every industrial problem is some insensitivity between two people, and if
So,
that is handled well.
Would it be right to say, Prashant, so this also has in a way led you to choose the career that you've chosen. So
Absolutely, absolutely. So my father those days HR used to be called as personnel and administration. He worked in the same function. So I'm the second generation, so to say.
okay. Right. I interrupted you, Prashant. You was.
So that has been my childhood as a schoolgoer, and till mid part of my college. I was never very serious about studies and took life the way it comes. And hence, I hold the rare distinction in my entire family of scoring the lowest marks. And after some point of time, when I realized that if I study, if I do well, it will help me, it will benefit me. So I also hold the distinction of, scoring the best marks in my entire family.
Okay.
So both the distinctions I have.
Right. You've believed to never trust your job, Prashant, right? So what experience in life made you think so?
Well, I'm very passionate about my job. I think for me, given the function I am in, I have to ensure as a conscious keeper that the interest of several stakeholders are taken care, whether it is employees, whether it is investors, whether it is shareholders, the company, customers, suppliers. So it is extremely important that I work fearlessly because I have to make decisions and execute decisions which may sound for someone as unpalatable, difficult, and enter into very difficult conversations. And hence, it's important for me to remain fearless. The only way I can remain fearless is two things. I have planned my finances well. I have kept my expenses in check while enjoying a certain kind of lifestyle. And second, I always have some kind of a backup uh, to ensure that I lead, a frugal but decent lifestyle. So, two things I have made very clear in my career. One is always financial planning and not just saving but investing, number one. Number two, having a backup, whether it is teaching or consulting, something that I enjoy doing. And this was shaped because in my first job, I had a boss, a manager by qualification. He was an industrial engineering from Shibpur, B Bengal Engineering College, Shibpur, very
Right.
reputed. It's like the VGTI of West Bengal. I have never come across a senior colleague who is as competent as well as committed. And I saw him losing his job, and he
Oh
was
my
prepared for
God.
losing his job. Okay, and that taught me early on in the very first year of my experience that never be so dependent on your job that you lose your independence.
Right.
That has shaped my thought. So when I moved to Jamshedpur, uh, one of my key agenda for moving to Jamshedpur or aim was to uh, get associated with XLRI and become a visiting faculty because it's a very reputed management institution. And if I work there as a visiting faculty, I learn teaching academics, and it will help me in the long run. And I joined Tata Company Jamshedpur in '95, and in the year '97, I became a visiting faculty. 97, 98, up till 2001, I worked there.
Oh,
I
okay.
think 90,
Right.
I worked there as visiting faculty, uh, and I have continued my association with academics. I I make sure that I invest time in reading and improving my knowledge regularly. Every week, I take out 4 to 5 hours in terms of reading, both current business affairs as well as management and across the functions, not only in HR, because HR or any function doesn't exist in isolation. So it has to serve the
True.
purpose.
Right. Right. So
So
you continue teaching anywhere as of now, Prashant, or
currently no, currently no, but as and when I get any invite from any of the academic institutions, I am very happy to do that. Have participated in guest lectures at Calcutta, at several other places.
You've again worked in various sectors, Prashant. So IT,
Yeah.
ITES,
Yes.
manufacturing, pharma. How did you get those insights of the business? Because again, HR does need to have that knowledge of the business as well. How have you, ensured that you've kept updated with these particular companies, wherever you've gone?
Yeah. So I have changed industries a lot. First 10 years I was in automobile, and then I moved into services, consulting, outsourcing, IT outsourcing, BPO, pharma. Of course, in consulting, I work with variety of clients from oil and gas to pharma to scientific process outsourcing to BPO to retail, a variety of industries. Uh, I follow certain things to learn about the industry, and one of the best methods I have found is, and it goes with my financial freedom, is I read the analyst papers on company or industry.
Right.
Okay, and that gives very good insight on what are the key drivers of business in an industry. For a company, any company in that industry, how do they fare on some of these key drivers? So I closely follow and read some of the analyst papers. And I make it a point that whether it was consulting, dealing with any new client or in new industry or in my job, I try to figure out what are the 2, 3 key drivers
Mm-hmm.
and how can I make an impact on those 2, 3 key drivers. So
Right.
that's how I have that has helped me significantly in picking up the ropes of any industry that I get into.
Right. You touched upon teaching, Prashant. So are you also playing a role in mentoring younger colleagues of yours, or you've done that in the past? How
Yes.
does mentorship role?
So I'm a trained coach, and I do practice executive coaching. Outside of my work, I do executive coaching pro bono, and it's like a doctor practicing. So, and I stay in touch with my practice. Part one, part two, I have coached and mentored several startups and successful startups and entrepreneurs, and with my colleagues as well, I provide coaching, mentoring very regularly, and that's a key work of any HR leader, and I
True.
enjoy doing that.
Who do you owe your success to? And what does success mean to you?
Uh, that few people, and some of them in family, some of them outside the family. So in my family, I have learned being practical and bold from my elder brother, ex-army man, and incidentally, or coincidence, I'm the first civilian in my family in my generation. And
Okay.
recently, I used to say with a lot of pride that there are 2 serving generals from my family. So my cousin, who is eldest in my generation, retired this year early as Lieutenant General from Indian Army. My
Great.
sister is married to an army officer. He left army as a major general and now serves as additional secretary uh, with the National Technical Research Organization. So I have learned to remain, contemporary in terms of knowledge from my brother-in-law. So despite being in army, he's very well educated, double masters from IIT Kharagpur and Defense Staff College, and still invests a lot of time in keeping his knowledge updated, and I have imbibed that. Uh, Integrity and staying upright in my job, I have learned from my father. Understanding the business, I treat Ramcharan as my guru,
Right.
and I'm very fortunate that I get an opportunity to interact with him periodically, even now. And
Okay.
I follow some of his books like Talent Wins, What Your CEO Wants You to Know, What Your Customers Want You to Know. execution. So I treat him as my guru, and I'm very fortunate that he uh, he spends and he's kind enough to spend time with me. Apart from this, there have been a couple of my seniors bosses like Varun Nair, who I worked with in Genpact. One of the best people leaders I have come across. He was a business leader, and he continues to be a business leader in another outsourcing firm. But I've learned a lot from him in terms of uh, being employee centric, looking after people. So some of these, while I served at Emcure, I learned a lot from Satish Mehta. Top class entrepreneur in terms of taking risk. I am Ahmedabad graduate, 35 years. He has taken the company from scratch to, where it is today in terms of global presence. I was very fortunate to have every day at least 1 hour of interaction with him, many times one-on-one on formulating company strategy, way forward, execution plans. I've learned a lot from some of these colleagues I have worked with. Even in CleverTap, from the co-founders, being very humble. I mean, the kind of global growth story CleverTap is creating is phenomenal. And you see the three co-founders who are experts in their own field are extremely humble, extremely humble. And I've learned from them to bring expertise on the table. So several things have gone in terms of shaping me up as a person, as a professional. And I've benefited a lot from many people I've come across. These few people stand apart completely.
True. Very well put across, Prashant, in a way. How have you managed to create a work-life balance? That's something that most of us are not able to do. We see people focusing towards work most of the times, and how have you managed to create that balance within this journey of yours?
Yeah, so few things that I'm very clear at when it comes to the personal level, I'm very flexible in organizing my day routine. So, for example, I have a habit of meditation twice a day. Morning after my chai, and I prepare the tea myself for everyone at home. Warm water in the morning.
That's really nice to know.
Tea for everyone with a lot of ginger and pepper and milk and boiled tea, goldana. And then I do either exercise or walk for about 5 kilometers, but I'm flexible. So if I have morning, meeting starting at 8:30 in the morning, I will go for a walk in the evening. Today, for example, 9 o'clock was my day was starting, and last night I closed past 12. So I skipped bath in the morning, and then around 10, 11, after I was done with my morning calls, I quickly. So flexibility is one that I practice. Number two, many times I have observed that, if I clear off things right away, it reduces 5 emails, 3 notes, and 4 Slack messages, and maybe 2 phone calls.
Right.
So I try to finish off things immediately. There is a old, I call it a Taylor principle, not the Frederick Taylor, the Taylor, TAILR. So those days, these are the days when we use all the ready-made stuff. But those days, we used to buy clothes and get it stitched from Taylor. And normally, if you go to a tailor for stitching of trouser shirts, he will tell you 3 days, 4 days. You go during Diwali, Christmas, Durga Puja, holy time, they will tell you 1 month. See, the cutting and stitching time is same. Cutting and stitching time is same. It doesn't change because of Holi, Diwali, Christmas, or Eid. Okay.
But the volumes do change.
Volumes do change. So I try to finish off most of the day tasks on the same day. It has come, finish off. It has come, finish off. Don't wait. And there is second principle of football. The more you keep ball with yourself, less is your chances of success.
Right.
Unless you are a Maradona. So keep moving the work. Keep moving the work. Don't hold the inventory.
Very interesting thoughts. Very interesting thoughts.
So that helps me clear off most of the things on the same day and keep very few things as piled up. And then during the weekends, I do take out some time. I have one habit. I am not a workaholic. I make sure that I spend a lot of time with family and on my hobbies or walking or health and fitness. But even on holiday, even on Saturday, Sunday, even if it is for 1 hour, I'll open my laptop, clear my mails, work on some of the things because it's my life and it helps me not to accumulate things. All it takes is for me, and I'm not advocating this, but for me, Saturday, Sunday morning when I'm having my tea, and I would typically spend half an hour over a mug of tea or 2 rounds of tea. I do some work and then I'm free, absolutely.
Right. So you pace it, as
Prefer doing that early morning.
right.
Early
right,
morning,
right.
so that it doesn't interfere with, everyone in
Routine and schedule. Right.
Yeah.
No, apart from the corporate mandate, Prashant, do you have any personal goal, a mission, something that you would want to do after you hang up your boots, something that you have always wanted to do but didn't find time for it?
Yeah, maybe, along with my wife, go backpacking, travel for months, 2 months, some parts of India, some parts of world. That is one. May get into, teaching with a management institution or writing a book. The third thing on my mind is spend time in rural India because that's where my roots are, and I still maintain my roots. And go and do a lot of work there. I mean, using technology, using the power of social networks. There is a lot that can be done, and these are some of the things on cards. And maybe 5 years down the line, I might do one of these or a combination of these. See, life is not a or function. Life is an and function.
Right.
From my colleague, Varun Nair, who I respect a lot. So he used to say life is an and function. It is never binary. I will do either this or this. No. There are several things that we can do, and it's an and function.
Right. I'm taking a lot of learnings through this conversation, Prashant. So very new thoughts and which are very important to learn in today's scenario, which you've shared. One decision that you have taken, that has changed your career, Prashant. Any important decision that has really
I think taking risk early on when I was just about 10 years of experience, because I always had some thought of doing something on my own. And I decided to quit my job and start consulting as a freelance independent consultant. And
that was Potentia Growth Services.
But even before that, in 2000, 2003, for a year and a half, I did this. And I calculate. I thought that if I have to do at some point of time, I have to do consulting and entrepreneurship. The more delay there is, it will become more difficult because I'll be used to much more salary, compensation, income, and expense. Earlier I do, better it is for me. So those days I calculated what is my loan commitment, how much expense I need every month. And I calculated everything way back in 2002, 2003. This was about 30,000 per month of expense, including loan and home loan. And I saw I had 6 months of buffer in my bank account. I said, let me go. It worked very well. I took that risk and it changed the landscape of my career completely in terms of risk taking, in terms of learning with a variety of clients, industries, meeting people absolutely at the lowest level in the company as well as the CEOs. And that shaped my career. That made me absolutely fearless, risk taking, and the attitude of anything can be done.
Right. So you planned for it in a way, ensuring that you're taking a risk, you were cautious about it and you planned for it. So that
Yeah. So when I actually did 7 years of entrepreneurship starting 2006, I did not have any concern or stress at all. At all. In fact, in 2000, it was not 2000, it was 2010. And in 2010, when I took the step, and 7 years I did entrepreneurship and consulting, I decided for the first year, every day, I'll have in the evening tea and chai and biscuit with my family, and then take my daughter and son to park every day. And I did that for a year.
Okay. Oh.
So I was able to spend time with my children when they wanted.
True. Right, Prashant. It has been a pleasure interacting with you. Thank you for taking us through your journey, your sources of inspiration, and lessons that you've learned over the years. Thank you for this conversation.